Lambda Sigma. So Veronica and I are going to give you a quick tutorial on interviewing because we now have 43 applicants that have signed up to interview, and we are very excited because interviews are happening Friday and Sunday. So first of all, if you haven't signed up to interview yet, make sure you do so. Veronica has put the link for the document on Facebook, as well as I've sent it out on the email. So just sign up. We need all the help we can get. And yeah. So once again, interviews are this Friday and Sunday. Friday they're from 5 to 9, and on Sunday they're from 12 to 7. And they are in Ween Hall in 5312 and 5320. So they're right next to each other. And now Veronica is going to talk about the process for the interview.
All right, so for the interview, you guys are going to be coming 10 minutes earlier than your assigned slot. The places that we've selected to do interviews have a long hallway, so one of us will be there floating around to make sure that interviewers know where they're going, interviewees know where they're going. Please dress in business casual. Phoebe sent out a description, a very specific description of what you're supposed to be wearing, so you can double check that if you're not 100% sure, but we want to make sure that we're dressed well to make sure that we have a good impression for our interviewees. So for the interview, you're going to arrive 10 minutes early. You're going to have time. There's going to be transition time, so you'll be seated in your room, and you'll have the written applications in front of you. So you'll read your written application, and then you're also going to have a rubric, and the rubric's divided into two parts. The first part of the rubric, there's a nice line dividing them, is based on the written application. So there are 5 questions that are based on the written application, and there are also reference numbers for the questions you should be looking at in order to fill them out. For example, the first one is extracurricular list. So you're going to be looking at question 1, which is the list of their extracurriculars, and you're going to see, is it pretty empty or is it pretty full? And there's a 1 to 5 rating scale. The second one, dedication and passion to service. You're going to look at question 1, their activities, and one that they liked particularly, and their most meaningful service event. So you'll see whether or not they seem dedicated and passionate towards community service. And next we have service event planning. That's based on their second question, where they had to plan out a service event. And there's subcategories. So everything's rated 1 through 5. So you'll understand that, and that will be in the room. And so then once you finish with that, you should finish that before the interviewer comes in. Then the student will come in, and you'll have a second section for rating them during the interview. And you just have 3 sections for questions. 1 should be based on their application, and 2 will be from a general questions list, which will also be in the room.
And those 2 documents are attached in that email I sent you. So if you have any questions, just look it over, and then you can send an email on over to either me or Veronica.
Yeah, they'll be right there. They'll be in front of you. You already have access to them, so you should kind of be familiar with the process. And during that time, you'll rate them. There's a place for general comments if there's anything that you want to note. And that is how you'll evaluate them. Those will be stapled together, and then we'll take them out to compile the numbers.
Okay, so I guess now we're going to go over general tips on interviewing. You want to make sure to smile. You don't have to smile the entire time, but you want to certainly put your person at ease, because maybe they're an excellent candidate, but the fact that you're so intimidating is making them, not give their best effort on the interview. So you want to be professional, as in you don't want to slouch, you don't want to cuss, you don't want to do anything inappropriate, but at the same time you want to be welcoming enough so that they feel comfortable in the setting. What else?
Be kind, be genuinely interested in what they're doing. Don't just ask questions because you want to ask. Listen to their responses and try to, gauge how honest they're being about what they're saying, and how likable they are, and whether or not you think that they're going to be able to work together and be dedicated to Lambda Sigma.
Yeah. And now at the end of the interview, you want to ask your person if they have any questions. Mm-hmm. That's a really good opportunity for them to ask you as a member of Lambda Sigma what you've done, or maybe if they have any lingering questions about Lambda Sigma that you can answer. So also, on the other hand, be prepared with answers about, your experience in Lambda Sigma, maybe what was your favorite service event, or what have you learned throughout the course of being a member of Lambda Sigma. And
one note, if there are students who you're interviewing that we don't want to have any conflicts of interest in terms of your previous relationship with them. So in Wien, there will be floaters around. So there'll be either 1 or 2 e-board members or extra people that have signed up that will be available for replacement. So if you're looking through an application and you're like, wait, I know this person personally in a way that would affect my interviewing of them and our relationship, then you don't have to interview them. You can step out for that particular interview, and then you can step right back in when you're all set, when they're all done.
And then I would definitely say for the rubric, I wouldn't be marking it up while the interview is happening. If you can, store everything in your head and be conscientious of what's on the rubric and fill it out afterwards, I think that would be the best bet, because say Veronica was interviewing me and the entire time I was talking, she's marking down a piece of paper. Like, that's very intimidating, and we don't want to come across as
pretentious. And if they can see it too, they'll be like, yeah, that's not good.
So I guess that's about it. We just wanted to give you a quick run through what's going to be happening Friday and Sunday so that you guys know what's happening. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, email, text, and that's it. Have a great week.